And good morning. Welcome to Exiles TV on this Thursday morning. Glad to have you along with us. I'm Bill Profita. He is Kevin Gallagher.
I am. It's true.
It's true.
No denying.
In the flesh. Mm-hmm. You are the one.
American held hostage day 31.
Well, and
how's everybody bearing up?
For some places, it's, day 35, and some places it's day 12. And
I actually don't know what day it is because I can't remember what day it was that the governor asked us all to stay the hell home.
It was March 21st, somewhere,
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Me too.
Of course, you know what's being held hostage is my dry cleaning.
No kidding. We were talking about this before the program. It's like I need to take some stuff to the dry cleaners, unless you want to see me doing this program in Eagle 98.1 T-shirts, which I've got a buttload of those.
This is bad. I'm cutting my own hair. I'm ironing my own shirts. This is getting bad.
Are you cutting your own hair? Really?
Yeah, I am. I'm trimming. I'm trimming around the ears and.
Well, I'll do a little of that, but I'm sorry. I'm going to get a little shaggy on you.
Yeah, fortunately, I don't have to turn around on this program because I can't quite reach back here to do it.
Well, that's what Karen is for.
Oh yeah, you ask her. You ask her. She invents profanities when I ask her to do something like that.
Marianne, if I ask her to trim that hair on the back of my neck, she'll take the clippers and go right at it. Sure, hon, no problem.
Karen is like, I got my own hair issues. But
awful.
But seriously, you're talking about dry cleaning. I have a wonderful dry cleaner that I use, and I don't mind giving them a little plug here because they're very nice people. It's called Lee's Dry Cleaners, not to be confused with my tailor, Lee's Tailor, which is a whole different family.
Okay.
But when I saw that they were going to shut us all down, I went the Friday before it was to take effect on that next Monday, because I have like 5 pair of slacks and 15 shirts at the dry cleaners, and they had closed early.
So your clothing's being held hostage.
My clothing is hanging on one of those moving racks.
Well, it's not.
We miss you.
It's not going anywhere.
But
I think it has to sit there for something like a year before they sell it.
Yeah. Well, I can iron. I used to iron my own shirts. Mm-hmm. I can trim above the ears and the sideburns in the front a little bit. After that, if this goes on much longer, I might look like a rapidly balding member of the Beatles.
Do you know what I was wondering is about our many female friends in the media, especially those who work on television. What are they doing about hair color and stuff like that?
Roots is getting to be more than a miniseries.
Exactly where I was going with that. It's like, are there some blondes that we're now finding out are brunettes, or are there some brunettes we're now finding out are silver?
Exactly.
That sort of thing. I imagine their only recourse is either. I'm aware that there are some stylists that are that come to your house. If you've been a good customer for a number of years, they'll come to your house, cut you in your kitchen, and do stuff like that.
But yesterday, the Board of Cosmetology put out a warning
saying, "Don't do it."
If you are cutting hair at your home, or if you're opening your salon, for somebody to come in, they will take your license.
Really?
Well, think about how close.
That's not good.
But how close is your contact with somebody cutting your hair? And you don't know who they had that close contact with,
But if the person cutting my hair is wearing a filter mask, an approved filter mask, and is wearing gloves, I'm not going to worry about it.
It would probably be safe, but there are always going to be people that don't do it.
How about this, though? How about we let these people start making some money, though? At the very least, let them, have a limited number of stylists in the salon, keep space between workstations, and only allow one customer in per stylist.
And check for a temperature before you let them in.
Because do you remember the 1989 film Batman? Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
Remember the Joker was like sneaking his nerve toxin into all kinds of personal care products? And next thing you know, the people doing the news just looked like hell, man. They had zits. Their hair was frizzy and fly away. That's the way it's going to get here before too much longer.
Well, let me tell you how bad it's gotten. Karen and I were walking yesterday afternoon, and we see our neighbor and his late teenage daughter, and they're walking their dog. And their dog had just come back from the groomer. Their dog had a beautiful haircut. Mm-hmm. And Karen said, maybe I should call our vet.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'd get my dog clipped, but I can't get
Oh, yeah, and the
clipped?
dog is like, hey, I'm looking good. That dog was prancing around.
But this brings to light, there's a lot of discussion, not necessarily so much here in Baton Rouge, but around the country. People are getting upset about what the authorities consider to be essential. People in Michigan are upset because they got all this time on their hands. They love to be working in their yards, but they can't go to the flower shop. Or if there's like a floral garden department in the store where they buy their groceries, a la Walmart, those parts of the store are cordoned off and they can't because that's non-essential. But it's like, hey, give me some seeds and some plants I can at least keep busy in my backyard.
Yeah, exactly. And, it kind of therapeutic to get out there and do all that stuff. I'm not a big yard work guy, but, anything at all that works. We've got more to come. By the way, in the second hour today, a look at how the restaurants are being impacted. Stephen Hightower of City Restaurant Group and also of the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society will be live with us on set. More to come on Exiles TV. Stick around.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Bang, we're back. Exiles TV here on Pelican Broadcasting. Glad to have you with us. You can find these after the program is over at noon. You can find it posted onto YouTube. Search Pelican Broadcasting on YouTube, and we also share them on our The Morning Exiles page on Facebook.
And again, the replay from 10 till midnight. So if you can't break away right now, or you know somebody who can't, this same channel. 10 o'clock tonight, you'll see the whole thing.
I'm told we're showing up in the cable guide now, by the way, too.
I know.
So, some folks were like, hey, I went to record you. I had to record like 4 deer hunting programs in order to...
but
well, they're not all deer hunting, but you know what I'm saying.
But it says Great Hair and the Shrimp. I don't like that title.
But we're glad to have you with us, and thanks so much for tuning in.
Here's the facts and figures for today. Just shy of 22,000 cases in our state and 1,103 deaths. We have 1,943 people in hospital. The good news, only 425 on ventilators. We've got cases in every parish now. And we're finally catching up on testing. We have completed between the state lab and commercial lab about 124,000 tests completed. So that's where we are. I don't even know where to go with this next thing, but did you see the deal about the preacher up in Central that has defied the
Pastor Tony Spell.
Yes, Pastor Tony Spell. There was a post from him that was on Facebook that said, you know, since basically God has protected you and I have protected you, if you're getting one of these stimulus checks, you should turn it back to God, meaning turn it to me. Now, I wanted to look at it again, just to be sure.
You want trying to be fair?
Yeah, and so
I watched the YouTube video twice.
God help me, I went to his Facebook page. Mm-hmm. You know, and for me, that's like Superman grabbing a big lump of kryptonite and putting it in his drawers. I just didn't want to see this guy's Facebook page. And every one of his posts, except for the one on the Easter service and how many people he had there, have been taken down.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's a case of where Facebook jail is working on your behalf.
Well, we don't know if it's Facebook jail or if he decided maybe I better take this down.
Well, it's actually easier for the stuff to come down, for you to take your own stuff down than it is for Facebook to they could just block the whole page.
But you saw the YouTube video
Saw
twice.
it on YouTube, not on the Facebook page, and watched, like you, I watched it twice. So, whoa. And he's basically saying, so far the Lord's protected you from this virus, thank the Lord, by signing your stimulus check over to me.
I don't even know how to feel about that, other than, remember the guy who, well, we were out doing a public appearance and we were raising money for charity. We were actually, you know, taking in money for charity. Mm-hmm. And that guy came up and he said, "What you got for me?" And I said, "Nothing but contempt." Remember that?
No, actually, I think the word you used was disdain. Nothing but disdain.
He had to go look it up. But, I mean,
it's true. Bill and I were doing this. We were doing a live event, and it was for charity. The point was, you bring something for us. And this guy walked up, and he wanted a T-shirt. I don't know what he just had his hand out, and I couldn't help but laugh.
Yeah, he said, "What do you got for me?" I said, "Nothing but disdain."
What do you got for us?
But disdain is not a strong enough word for how I feel about this. And what I'm worried about is this guy is getting a cult-like following for all of his defiance of the rules of trying to help stem this virus. Mm-hmm. And now he's reaching into his parishioners' pockets for their stimulus checks. And apparently it's okay with them.
Yep. I don't know, you know, if mental health science has come up with a name for when people just can't see straight where it comes to a religious leader who may or may not be a con man.
But you know,
we've had them. I mean, for all my life, there have been people. For every Billy Graham, there was somebody like Kenneth Copeland who was just a shameless huckster. And you know, it's part and parcel of the territory of faith that you're going to have people who are going to prey on your faith in order to separate you from your money.
And he means P-R-E-Y. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been always part of the deal. That's, you know, some men of God are going to be men of God, and some are going to be, you know, men of money.
One of the first in this city, and I won't give its name, but it was very, very mass hypnosis oriented. And a friend that I played tennis with kept bugging me to go to church with him on Sunday. I said, I have my own church. And I got to learn a little bit more about it, and they really preyed upon people that were broken, people that had addictions, you know, young women that had affairs with older married men.
People that, had something. Broken is a good way of putting it. People that had a problem.
People who have failed in their marriage and with their kids, and they just say, it doesn't matter what you've done. We love you. We want you. We accept you. And I think when you're in that position, for some people, it rings true and it turns you into sheep. And finally, I ran out of excuses. And so I went one Sunday. And it was amazing. On the right side of the church, there were all these people that were just barely holding it together. and you could tell they were waiting for words from the altar to make them feel good about themselves. And on the other side was every known crook and huckster in this city that I knew, at least, that were waiting to prey upon them the minute the service was over. They were going to sell them their insurance, and they were going to, take care of their air conditioning problem, and they were going to, get them in a new car. And it was awful. And I, as much as I have disdain for this man, I feel bad for those people that go to his church.
I certainly do.
They need psychiatric help at the very least.
Time for us to take another quick break. We got lots more to come here, and we're going to talk about the guidelines for dealing with COVID as we understand them. It's coming up next.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us, Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher. And now, as a public service, Kevin has found an explanation of the rules and what they mean to help us stop the spread of the COVID virus.
Yes, and I want to give propers to my Facebook friend, Kate McLean, who shared these. She readily admits that these are copied from another source. She does not take credit for being the author.
Yeah, but Kate got them to you.
But here are
And,
your...
oh, and by the way, these are meant to be enjoyed, folks.
Yes, this is tongue-in-cheek, so get ready. Get ready to laugh a little bit. The official coronavirus guidelines. Number one, basically, You can't leave your house for any reason, but if you have to, then you can. 2, masks. Masks are useless, but maybe you have to wear one. It can save you, but it's useless, but maybe it's mandatory as well. Stores, all closed, except those that are open. Number 4, you should not go to hospitals unless you have to go there. Same thing applies to doctors. You should only go in case of an emergency, provided you're not too sick to go. Number 5, this virus is deadly, but still not too scary. Except that sometimes it actually can lead to a global disaster. So keep that in mind. Gloves, number 6. Gloves will not help, but still they can help. Number 7, everybody needs to stay home, but it's important to go out. I keep hearing that. It's like, which is it? Which is it? Number 8, there's no shortage of groceries in the supermarket, but there are many things missing when you go there in the evening, but not in the morning, but only sometimes. Use this as a rule. Number 9, the virus has no effect on children except those children that it affects. Number 10, animals are not affected, but there is this cat that tested positive in Belgium back in February, but nobody was being tested. Plus, we're hearing about a few tigers here and there.
Yeah.
Number 11, you will have many symptoms when you are sick, but you can also get sick without any symptoms. Okay? You can also have symptoms without being sick or be contagious without having symptoms. Yikes. Number 12, in order not to get sick, you have to eat well and exercise, but eat whatever you have on hand, and it's better not to go out. Well, come to think again, no. Number 13, it's better to get some fresh air, but you get looked at very wrong when you go get some fresh air, and most importantly, you don't go to parks or walk, okay, but don't sit down except when you can do that, and now if you're old, but not for too long if you're pregnant, but not too old to be pregnant. You follow the way we've drifted.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm with you.
You're taking
That
notes. You're
scares
keeping
me.
up. Number 14, you can't go to retirement homes, but you have to take care of the elderly and bring food and medication. Number 15, if you are sick, you can't go out, but you can go out to the pharmacy. This one I've noticed.
Yeah.
You know, pharmacies with drive-thrus, have you noticed that you get a traffic jam around a pharmacy with a drive-thru?
The pharmacy that we use always has a traffic jam, except for now. People want to go in the store.
Number 16, you can get restaurant food delivered to the house, which you may have been prepared by people who didn't wear masks or gloves, but you have to have your groceries decontaminated outside for 3 hours. This also applies to pizza. Number 17, every disturbing article or disturbing interview starts with, I don't want to trigger a panic, but. Number 18, you can't see your older mother or grandmother, but you can take a taxi and meet an older taxi driver. Okay? Number 19, you can walk around with a friend, but not with your family if they don't live under the same roof as you. Are you staying with us now? Number 20, you are safe if you maintain the appropriate social distance, but you can't go out with friends or strangers at the safe social distance. Number 21, the virus remains active on different surfaces for 2 hours. No, wait, no. Let's make that 4 hours. No, let's make that 6 hours. Wait, we didn't say, did we say hours? We meant days. But it takes a damp environment to go days. Well, but not necessarily. So keep that in mind. Number 22, the virus stays in the air. Well, no, or maybe, especially in a closed room. And 1 hour for a sick person can infect 10 people. So if it fails, all our children were already infected at school before school was closed. And remember, if you stay at the recommended social distance, however, in a certain circumstance, you should maintain a greater distance, which studies show the virus can travel further, maybe possibly.
Are we nearing the end?
Number 22, we count the number of deaths, but we don't know how many people are infected, as we have only tested so far for those who are almost dead to find out what it is they'll die of. Number 24, we have no treatment except that there may be one that apparently is not dangerous unless you take too much of it, which is the case for all medications. And finally, number 25, we should stay locked up until the virus disappears, but it'll only disappear if we achieve collective immunity. So when it circulates, but we must no longer be locked up for that, right? Are you following the way I've drifted?
Thank you, Kate. And what was number 3 again? Just kidding.
Stores are closed except those that aren't.
I love that.
There's great disparity that people are being upset with stores that are allowed to be open and stores that aren't. Not so much here in Louisiana, but we've got a lot of places that I think some people would deem unessential. There are states that are saying you can't go to Home Depot. It's not essential.
Unless you got a leaking pipe in your kitchen.
Right. I've got a broken kitchen faucet. I went to Home Depot. And you know something? Yesterday at Home Depot, there was a lady at the door that asked nicely. She had a laser thermometer, and she wanted to know would you like us to take your temperature?
Did she make you take off your pants?
No.
Oh,
She's just going to put it in the ear, or shoot it in the ear. But or
you
I
have
think
that
they
effect.
could do the forehead.
You have that effect on women.
I know, it's crazy. But lady asked me if I wanted her to take my temperature. I just told her no thanks. I was feeling fine and kept rolling. On the same trip, I stopped at the Walmart neighborhood market to pick up a few things, and it's the first time I've experienced this. Guy at the door had a counter and a clipboard, and he stopped me. And he said, "Sir, would you mind waiting just a couple of moments, please? We're controlling how many people are allowed in the store at a time." And so I stood there maybe about 15 seconds, and here comes a customer with their basket of groceries, and out the door they go. And the guy said, "Okay, go ahead."
Kind of makes you feel like you're at Blue Vest Studio 54. Do they have the velvet rope and all that you stand behind? Guy with the clipboard says, "Yeah, you can come in, not you."
I'm the low-level functionary with the clipboard.
I see an opportunity here. There is money to be made. What if you made it highly competitive to get in? What if you did do the velvet rope?
Yeah, what if you could like tip the guy at Walmart, an extra, here's a Finsky, let me in. No?
Or no, just, okay, good-looking blonde with good cans? Yeah, you're in.
Now,
you in a T-shirt? No.
Now, we've been seeing this. Bill and I do our podcast from La Divina Italian Cafe, which is in the shopping center at Acadian and Perkins. We do that 2 mornings a week, and that's on Facebook Live. And Trader Joe's is just a few doors down. Mm-hmm. And we've been seeing this at Trader Joe's. Not only are people lined up, and they're only letting them in a few at a time. I think they're keeping it to something like 25 customers in the store.
25 customers, yeah.
But they're also making them line up, and they're standing 7 or 8 feet apart from
They
one
have
another in
marks
line.
on the pavement.
So Trader Joe's is doing everything they can.
Not only that, but they're doing a great job going in. They have one employee that sanitizes the baskets, both the carry type and the kind that you push. Mm-hmm. Okay, and they make sure you get one that has been recently sanitized. As you come in, they will offer you a Purell squirt for your hands, and you can do that. As you leave, they offer you a Clorox wipe to use on your car door handle and all that, and off you go. And they're being very, very circumspect about it. Now,
I think they're treating their customers very well, and well they should. Tuna fish is like $3.50 at Trader Joe's.
But that's only the.
I'm joking, Trader Joe's. I'm just kidding.
But like their version of Ritz crackers is half of what the real Ritz. They're called Rats, but don't let that
Rats
bother you.
crackers.
But
we love you. We're just joking.
We're kidding. I buy a lot of wine there. Mm-hmm. I do. But and then whenever you have crises like this, and you change some people's normal operating functions, the crazy comes out. Mm-hmm. So I am at the Albertsons on Bluebonnet, and I hear this god-awful racket. And this is from my car. And there is this lady, and she is beating her own car to death and screaming at the manager and the security man.
Why?
Well, it was kind of hard to tell because she was about 20 syllables from foaming at the mouth. I mean, and the manager is like, "Ma'am, you need to calm down. I'm going to take care of it for you. I'm going to take care of it for you. You just need to calm down." And she was literally pounding dents into the hood. She had one of those.
Her own car.
She had a very used Jaguar X-Type, and they haven't even made those for like 6 years.
Yeah, but she's beating on a Jaguar.
Well, it was already not in really good shape.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, and
it was ragged out, as we used to say.
She was a big girl.
Yeah.
So she was making some good-sized dents. So I kind of scuttled around, because spittle was flying, things like, I didn't want to be.
Was flying.
Oh, yeah. She was screaming and moaning, and And so I got inside and I got the two things I needed. And as I came out, the manager was standing by the same door. And I said, "The hell was all that?" And he said, she got to her car. She realized she left a bag at the checkout stand. She roared her car up into the fire zone, threw it in park, and started running out. And our security guy said, "Stop." And she started yelling, and she had left a bag, and she wanted it right now. We told her we would go and get it for her. And we asked her which checkout lane she had used.
Of course, she didn't know.
And he said, all hell broke loose.
Wow.
I mean, she was having what I guess what my mom used to call, she having a fit.
Well, I mean, this thing is stressing people. It's stressing people in weird ways.
And you can tell on a good day she wasn't all that good before all this, okay?
Yeah, I gotcha.
On a good day, she wasn't all that good.
Pretty tightly wrapped.
Oh, and some of it's old copper wire, too. It's not that new lightweight stuff.
Time for another quick break. We're going to be right back with more. This is Exiles TV. Thanks
Stick
for joining
around.
us. Shall I do a little dance?
The computer is tripping out.
Yeah.
All right, it's
Okay.
time for Shadow Puppets.
Let's play rock, paper, scissors. No, we're
Sing a little Mac the Knife while I come after you with the shark.
Thank you. Oh, the shag bites with his teeth, dear. In our second hour, by the way, today, we're going to talk with Stephen Hightower. Stephen is the proprietor of a great chain of restaurants, the City Pork Group, CP Hospitality. They've also got Rouge Creole, which is
Rouge
one of their newer
Creole
restaurants.
and City Slice, which we forgot to mention. We're talking about great pizza places.
Yeah.
City Slice makes a great pizza, by the way.
And of course, one of my favorite places to eat is the Brasserie on Jefferson Highway. But all these places have been impaired by the fact that the restaurants cannot open to dine-in business.
And Stephen is an officer with the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society. He was one of the people that founded this Better Together takeout coalition of all these restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And he can give us an idea of how the restaurants are doing and, in fact, what they are doing. They got that Commodore 64 back there rebooted? Yeah. They do.
All right, then.
Oh, yeah, now he's yelling at me with his hands.
Yeah, take a break.
Now he's yelling with his hands.
Time out.
He is one
The
step
coach says
away
time
from that
out.
woman at Albertsons.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
That's right, the Clarence Bug Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher, and our floor director Marty is talking about the heebie-jeebie.
Yep. Put the heebie-jeebies on.
You know what we need? Is we need a little tiny wireless camera that, like, we can walk behind the set when they're struggling in the cut in the truck. And we won't put any audio to it because.
Yeah.
We get a lot of violations if we did that.
It's daytime TV.
We just kind of peek in there and it won't.
Everybody's had that experience.
Oh, God.
How many times at the radio station did we have, you press the button, nothing's happening. Sometimes it wasn't me and Bill pressing the button, it was the producer of the radio show, but it's like the poor guy is in there and we're looking at him like, what the hell, dude?
All the phones would ring at one time and there was nobody there.
Technology is your friend.
Technology is your friend. Speaking of technology, Karen has been working from home since the beginning, and she works for a national organization. And because of the stay-at-home type of thing all over the country, they're not doing any meetings where they used to have regional meetings where everybody would fly in or drive in for a day. And so now they are doing all these meetings by Zoom. And
the Chinese watching every single one of those things.
Well, let them watch. Let them watch.
Yeah, them Chinese, they're watching you on Zoom.
Yeah, they're making your medications. But
I'm sorry, I digressed you.
But I was amazed at the quality of the video image in these Zoom meetings.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are choosing them. If you've seen Skype, and you've seen maybe a TV show that was using a Skype interview, the quality from Skype up to Zoom is a huge leap.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically better resolution, better audio, and all using the same. It's mostly using the same camera that you're using in your laptop.
Well, other than for a phone call every now and then, I've never really used my FaceTime video on my iPhone, but it's pretty darn good.
Yes. I've never used mine at all for anything.
Well, this is an 11, and kind of got this out of necessity about 6 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to you, it pains me to say this, and I don't mean this to be a commercial for Apple, because I'm sure the Samsung is just as good in terms of the camera. This is better than my Canon EOS digital camera.
Okay.
It is much higher quality. and you can do the saturation corrections with your thumb on the screen.
I've seen a number of short films made by amateur filmmakers, and it was done on their iPhone 11, the entire film. And in some cases, there were special effects shots. There were slow-mo. There were things like that, things that, usually you need special equipment to pull off. A lot of this is built right in. It is one of the best cameras available on a smartphone, period.
The question...
It's actually an array of cameras on your phone.
Yeah, is it
You've
three?
got 3 of them.
Yeah, it's 3. I went to take a picture in a semi-darkened hallway of the home, and it immediately lit up and went to night mode, and it looked like we were standing in broad daylight. But anyway, do you think that we are going to change our spending on technology when this is all over? Are we going to see things that we like and we say, I can use that? I'm not just going to get it for a toy, but I can use that. I mean, I could see where you and I, not so much for the broadcast here, because, we do want people in front of studio cameras, but maybe for our podcasts where we start going to Zoom and have multiple guests on Zoom and get that up. I mean,
yeah, I could see it happening. Absolutely.
I find it very, very intriguing. Now, again, when you're doing a real TV station with real cameras, that's always going to be your best option. But, for most people with podcasting, use a phone camera or a little small kind of like almost a surveillance type camera.
Yeah.
And while the quality's okay, it's not great.
The Mevo, we use a camera called a Mevo for our podcast, and it's tiny. It's smaller than this cup. It's absolutely it's about this big right here, and you can get 4K clarity on that thing if you got the data stream capability to send that on. So as a recorder, I can record onto a memory chip at 4K. Trying to broadcast 1080p to say Facebook Live can be a little bit dicey with the internet connections around here.
Yeah.
So, but I see people that are going to be investing, average Joes are going to be investing money in the ability to telecommute and do telebusiness from their homes. And I think you're going to see a lot of places that asked you to come in and mark your time in a cubicle at a workstation. They're going to be now saying, you know what, if you can work from home, work from home.
Well, and again, that's going to ripple into the economy.
Commercial real estate's going to suffer.
Commercial real estate is going to suffer, and you know what else? I was watching a friend of ours, Todd Graves. He's been a very good friend to our broadcast over the
Raising
years.
Cane's, generally a good guy.
And he's talking about the plan they have in place now to keep all their employees on the payroll and all that. And he was also saying now, a month from now, because of the decline in sales, we may have to adjust that. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, his business was primarily drive-through anyway. I mean, nobody actually sat and ate at a Cane's.
Oh,
unless they're passing through and, don't want to eat in the car. But then it occurred to Karen and to me that, but all of his lunch business, nobody's in all those office buildings around his locations going for lunch. Nobody is coming out of work and saying, I'll just pick up Cane's on the way home. And see, if we get more people working from home, that same effect is going to impact the restaurants.
Well, Cane's may need to explore delivery, or if not using their own delivery drivers, maybe forging an alliance with an Uber Eats or a Waiter or a Grubhub or something like that. But if I had to predict here in the Baton Rouge area which Cane's is probably in the most trouble right now, it would be the Cane's that opened not so long ago right downtown at Florida and 3rd, because that's a Cane's that relies heavily on
people
that lunchtime
going
walk-up
from their
business.
office, or after work.
And they have no drive-through window because they're right downtown. So even if you're going to get takeout, you've got to go in and get it. Well, they've got to at least meet you at the door.
And again, they have been a very resilient restaurant marketer for years and years and years and years. And to hear Todd, who is he's a pretty optimistic guy normally, say this, and then it occurred to me, if we have more people, let's say we have 20% more people working from home when this is all over, all of these restaurants, not just Todd's, all these restaurants that do lunch business are going to get hit.
Yep, and a lot of them, in a town like Baton Rouge or any town that's got a healthy central business district, if they're counting on that CBD business, that downtown business, that's going to be the worst hit. I mean, think about it. Think about here in Baton Rouge, you've got Schlitz and Giggles. Mm-hmm. You've got Cane's. You've got, is Riverside Patty still open downtown? That used to be a favorite of mine.
I don't know.
But there are a number of restaurants right there along 3rd and State. There's a food court over on 4th and Main.
Well, and even a lot of the tablecloth restaurants are saying it is not worth it for us to do to-go orders. Mm-hmm. It's just not enough.
Who was it that you mentioned the other day recently? Just they were doing to-go orders, but then they just...
Well, that's Jubin's.
Jubin's, thank you. They just closed their doors and said, we'll see you on the other side.
Struby's stopped doing it, and I think the Little Village downtown is not doing to-go, but now the Little Village out where you live is doing to-go business. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of overhead in those spaces. Mm-hmm. And I really worry, as we said a couple times on this program, we're all learning what we can do without. I'm wondering if what we can do without is going to force other businesses into more deep water. Again, if people don't go back to their offices, think of all the businesses that get a lunch or an on the way to work buy or an on the way home from work buy. This could be really, really devastating.
Another thing that's interesting is, Bill and I, of course, cut our teeth doing radio for many, many years. Radio stations all found out very, very quickly, your guys can do their radio show from home, most of them, if they have broadband internet. Mm-hmm. And you provide them with a decent computer, or if they've already got one of their own, and a USB microphone. And chances are that they can do their radio program without having to come in. Will that continue on past the COVID-19? Will you see more and more and more, media personalities that are just doing their thing from home?
Well, and a lot of it depends on what it is you do. But again, there's a really good industrial psychologist that I was listening to, and he was saying, okay, there is a curve with work at home. He said, it always seems like such a great idea if you're the business owner because you're saving floor space rent and all that type of thing. He said, but you get about 45 days into work at home and you see the productivity start to drop off.
Yep.
And you find a lot more lengthy phone calling where nothing is getting done except the phone call because people are used to working with interaction with somebody else. Now, in broadcasting, Rush Limbaugh has been doing his program from his home for 15 years.
Yeah, well, but he's got a complete studio and has been. And has had a complete studio.
And he's also got the support people he would have sitting in a building in New York coming to his home in Florida every day. They report to work, his producers, his screeners. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Another quick break. We're going to be right back. This is Exiles TV.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Rouge Jr., and I am a general dentist at Rouge Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Clarence Bugg Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher. A reminder, if you've had to miss some of this, you're just tuning in, or maybe you've got friends that can't view it this time, every time we're on the air, there's a replay from 10 till midnight, and it's also on YouTube. You can find it probably within 2 hours of our show finishing here at noon.
Yeah, it doesn't take Jonathan long to get it up on YouTube.
No, and he cuts all the superfluous stuff, and it's 4 minutes long. It's all just a close-up of you. But anyway.
But you said he cut the superfluous stuff.
That's right, I'm sorry. We have got more to come, including we've been hearing about service industries that are really getting hammered economically. Stephen Hightower, who is the founder and president of City Restaurant Group, will be joining us. But he'll also be here as I can't remember if he's current president or immediate past president of the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society. He was one of the two organizers of this big takeout movement here in Baton Rouge about 4 weeks ago. He's going to give us an idea of how things are for restaurants. Some business news. 5 million more people in the United States applied for unemployment benefits. We are now at about 21 million.
Yep.
And this is the highest it has been ever. They thought we would not get as high as what happened in 1958. I'm too young to remember that, but apparently that stopped at about 20 million people. We're now at 21 million.
What happened in 1958?
Well, like I said, I don't much remember. Now, if you notice the price at the pump right now, it's pretty low.
Yes.
And that's because Vladimir Putin and the Saudis have been having an oil war. They've been flooding the market with oil, and it is driving the prices down. Of course, it's hurting refiners in our own backyard.
Oh, it's destroying the Louisiana oil patch.
Yeah, there's nobody drilling, and the refiners have got more in reserve than they can refine, although they're keeping their people working at ExxonMobil, and from what I understand, Shell, and BP, and Valero, and Marathon. In our general area. I know there are more, and I'm sorry if I've forgotten who they are, but what has happened, what will start today, is the Saudis and Putin have been dumping about 20 million more barrels per day than the demand would normally be. Mm-hmm. So starting today, Saudi Arabia is going to drop 4 million barrels a day. OPEC is going to drop another 12.
That's a start.
And then some of the other oil-producing countries, including ours, like Norway and Finland and Great Britain, are going to make it up to where we are back to even. So there will be, through about a week, there will be 20 million barrels a day more not available. The problem that exists right now is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia had to go out and rent 5 of these giant tankers. They are just floating at anchor, and they are
laden with product,
full of crude oil, full of it.
Wow.
And as I understand it, the United States can't buy any more for the Strategic Oil Reserve. It is full. The refiners here cannot buy any more. Their holding tanks are full. And since, as the economist was saying, it's a rare anomaly. Supply is up, demand is down.
Bill, just think about 12 years ago. 12 years ago, gasoline was easily well over $200 a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Not gasoline, but crude oil, $200 a barrel. Gasoline in June 12 years ago was the highest it's ever been recorded in Louisiana, which I believe was $4.08 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows you how when you don't need something, it becomes worthless.
Well, and again, everybody's staying at home. Nobody's driving as
Right.
much. The airplane, 60% of all the oil production in the world goes to transportation, okay? So that means trains, planes, and automobiles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, trucks are moving, but passenger cars aren't. Airlines have cut their schedules back a great deal. And so what's happening is there's no sense in refining product because you got to keep it somewhere because it's not going into the fuel pad at O'Hare and it's not going into the fuel pad at Circle K here on Coursey Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen to one of our biggest industries remains to be seen. By the way, the price of a barrel of crude coming out of the Gulf, and you know there's a little variation in price, on February 15th was right about $60.
Okay.
Now it's 20 and change.
I'm gonna go out there and be all conspiratorial again. Weren't there people before this virus struck that really wanted to just end the petrochemical industry in the United States? Oil and gas, just stop it. No more fossil fuels, no more internal combustion engines. Haven't we just taken a great big step forward in the no more if you destroy
those people here are nimnals and dipsticks, and nobody listens to them anyway.
But if you destroy the oil and gas industry, then
no, you're never going to be able to do that. Now, the one person though that we haven't talked about this is Mr. We have no coronavirus here. Everything is wonderful. He would have loved to have cornered the market on crude, Mr. Putin.
Yep.
And that would, of course, put a huge dent in the North American, South American oil industry. We may end up with a MOPEC before this is over to compete with OPEC.
A MOPEC, huh?
Yeah, it could very well happen. But our friends at ExxonMobil are still keeping people working, which is good.
Thank God.
Chemical industry, by the way, has not been impacted. You know why? They're making all the plastics that go into PPEs and things like that.
And other medical equipment.
And other medical equipment. The chemical industry, and again, that is a big part of our sector here in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
That happens to be booming. And my God, with all the road repair they're doing while everybody's staying at home, Exxon's asphalt plant ought to be doing pretty darn well.
Actually, a lot of people saying we ought to be doing more right now. This is the time to get out and do the major road jobs that need to be done. Well, we got much less in traffic. But you also have those road crews that are at risk of exposure if they're working close together.
But you know, they're doing the entire length of Perkins Road as we speak.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
I'm talking about build a 415 bypass and get ready to start building a bridge. That's the kind of road work I'm talking about.
That would be interesting. I don't know if they've got anything designed yet, but we can kind of cobble it together and see what happens later.
Guys in suits, we're working on a study, but coronavirus.
No, guys with pocket protectors. We're working on that. We've got more to come right after our top of the hour break. We'll get a report on the service industry and catch you up on the latest headlines as well. Do stay with us. Remember, there is a replay from 10 till midnight tonight. If you think you missed something, and you probably did, you can go ahead and catch up with it then. Top of the hour break. We're right back on Exiles TV. Don't you go anywhere.
Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent.
Depend on us for service, for selection, for price.
Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hour 2 of Exiles TV here on Pelican Broadcasting. Glad to have you with us, and thanks so much for spending some time with us on this Thursday. This is the 16th of April already.
Mm-hmm. Boy, I'll tell you what, the economic news nationally just isn't real good.
Ooh.
Now, what is interesting here in Louisiana is that we were being stifled by the national economy a little bit with our growth during the last quarter of 2019. We were still growing, but what was happening in the national economy was keeping our growth from being quite as large as it could be. Now, according to Dr. Scott, Dr. Lawrence Scott, if we hang tough and we don't act foolishly, when we start to re-roll, we will probably outstrip the national recovery by 1 point. Mm-hmm. Now, the national recovery is pegged right now, and I'm no economist, so I'm just being a parrot here. I'm just repeating what I heard.
Right.
But, I mean, Dr. Scott's been doing this a very long time, and you could tell he was serious because he didn't tell any goofy jokes yesterday. He was very, very serious. National economy is going to rebound across the board. Jobs, cash, at about 4 or 5% per month for the next few months, and then it's going to increase its percentage. Mm-hmm. So we will be back to where we were, hopefully within a year. Louisiana is going to be about a point and a half ahead of that because we don't have to retool ExxonMobil. They're not laying people off. We've still got the workforce in place there.
Right.
We are going to get a rebate on our severance tax from the offshore wells. And this means a lot of money will stay with Louisiana business. Now, the question nobody wants to ask, and I'm afraid to ask it. We're not all paying our income taxes until October, and we're not paying royalties on severance, and we're increasing outgo by $20 billion with stimulus checks across the board.
Right.
We're picking up additional health care costs. As somebody said yesterday, you realize All of this money is borrowed. We didn't have $20 trillion.
It's printed money.
And it was John Kennedy who said that, Senator Kennedy. He said, I want you to he said, I don't want to scare you, I want you to have perspective. Behind that 20 were 12 zeros. Now, when was the last time, Kevin, you heard anybody in business or in government talk about a number for anything? A big acquisition, a big project, a complete rebuilding of the interstate highway system that had 12 zeros behind the principal numbers.
No, projects are usually in terms of tens of billions of dollars, not.
And those are big ones.
Yeah, but those are not trillions of dollars. We're digging ourselves a hole that's going to be difficult to get out of
Now,
ever.
what I was wondering, and I didn't get a chance to ask Senator Kennedy this, and hopefully we'll be able to get him on the program soon. And I want to ask him this because he's kind of letting the cat out of the bag on some of this stuff. Okay, this is pretty much a secret. But I want to know who we're borrowing the $20 trillion from, because you know what?
The people that sent us the virus.
No, they don't have it. Their economy is in the crapper right now too.
And, yeah, that's a good question, because the Saudis were the other big, lender to the U.S. economy, and the Saudis are kind of on their butt as well.
Where are we borrowing this?
It's a good question. You going to get an answer?
Well, I'd like to get an
Where
answer.
Where are we borrowing the money from?
I'd like to know. I would, or is it some sort of a consortium that is cobbled together? For the think of how bad the euro got hit between Spain, France, and Italy. It would have been a lot worse if it had gotten Belgium as well, because that's a big financial capital for Europe. But I mean, is this some sort of a cobbled together coalition? Because I'm sure in their bailouts, they're borrowing it too.
So where does it leave us? Where does it leave the global economy?
Well, and again,
say 18 months, 2 years down the road.
And as my father used to say, what do you have to put a rock on? In other words, what do you have to mortgage? How are you covering this bet in case you lose?
Let's bring it a little closer to home. The governor, when this is all over with, is going to come at us, and he's going to want lawmakers to pass it, and he's going to want us as taxpayers to support it, another big fat tax increase.
Now, here's where he may have a problem with that. We're going to be a little late to the break here, guys, in the truck. Going to be a second late. Lauren Scott and Jim Richardson yesterday said, worst case scenario in the state of Louisiana, we'll start the next budget year with a $400 million hole. Now, Bobby Jindal had every fiscal year starting with a $300 to $400 million hole. So that may not happen for us in Louisiana.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. There are many of us out there, and I'm smart people. They're saying that the tax increase is going to come. It's going to be, we need to do it. We need to do it right now. Others, not so much.
Nobody's talking about it because the numbers don't qualify for it at this point. And we also don't know how much we're going to get back from the feds.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, stimulus checks. Have you gotten yours yet? Have you checked? That's on the way.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Bug Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. I'm Bill Profita. He is Kevin Gallagher. And
I am.
And do you feel stimulated? You
I
know,
don't.
that deep kind of stimulation that makes you feel warm and fuzzy all over. You know, about $1,200 worth of stimulated.
Been talking about that a lot. And paying attention to my Facebook friends, whether or not I've had a number of my Facebook friends. Yeah, I got my check. Some people have gotten one in the mail. Some people have confirmed that the money's been deposited into their account. I keep checking mine. I've received nothing in the mail and haven't received any stimulus yet. So how are you doing? Have you gotten a check? I guess they're just going to send them out based on what account they paid your last tax refund to.
Well, you know these folks that every year on January 31st, they've got their taxes done and filed?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, they got theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had direct deposit, it went right to the bank.
Right.
Now, for the rest of us...
What if you haven't had a federal tax refund in a long, long time?
Well, it doesn't matter. You still file.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you get a refund or not.
Okay, well, and I guess they have an account number associated with the check you wrote them, right?
Well, no, you have to do direct deposit either way, either direct deposit to the feds
or direct transfer of funds.
Or direct to you.
Got it.
But those people got theirs first. The rest of us, for example, I've not filed our taxes yet. Our CPA, friend of this program, Ben Melanson, had a heart attack and did not survive it.
God rest him.
Yeah, about 25 days ago. And so they have shifted all of his files to a very good accounting firm, Falk and Winkler, and I've talked to somebody over the phone there, a very nice CPA, and he said, we're not seeing anybody in person. You can drop off your stuff at the front desk, and we can do it over the phone. And then right after that, I spiked that fever and had to kind of go into lockdown for about 8 or 9 days. So what I'm going to do is try to get with him and see if we need to tell the feds, hey, look at our 2019 return, because it's awful short compared to 2018.
We had our taxes professionally prepared. They were closed for a while, and they figured it would be okay for them to close despite April 15th coming and going, because I think the filing deadline has been pushed back to July 15th this year.
Or August, yeah. I think
it's July 15th. But help me if I'm wrong with that, but we're going to take care of it next week. They called up, said, you're all done. Just let us know, and you can come by, and we'll actually come right out to your car, and you can sign documentation, and then
you get a refund?
Off you go. Fed, no. State, yes.
You going to give it to Reverend Spell?
No.
You give it to me?
No.
What are you going to do with all that loot?
It's not all that loot. It's it's state. It's about $185. It's not that big.
Oh,
deal.
it's Louisiana bongo bucks.
Mm-hmm. But it's so funny because my income took a huge hit.
You ain't a lone ranger.
Yeah, in 2019 because I had a job that was doing all right with, but that rug was pulled out from under me about a year ago. But even with the 1099 income that I made out for the rest of the year, we wound up with about a $500, $600 tax debt to the Fed.
You think the feds would let you and Clarence and I file as a family? Because, he's got all those deductions for all those wild-ass ties he wears.
There are some things that we found out about these checks now, that there were some fallacies and some rumors going around.
No.
Your stimulus check is not going to count against your deductible for your 2020 income.
No, it will not.
That won't count against your standard deduction, rather, not deductible, your standard deduction. It won't count against anything. It won't count as income that you earned. You're not going to have to report it. It's not going to count. So don't worry about that. I'm also seeing some dumb stuff. There was an article I saw yesterday. It was CBS News. And it's like, most Americans, their stimulus check will just go to bill collectors. Isn't that what the check is for, to help you pay your bills?
Well, yeah.
Is that not
I saw
the idea?
that too. I thought
does the Fed want us to go out and buy a big screen TV?
That was pretty inane. That really was pretty inane.
I thought that the money was to help you pay your bills, because a lot of us are out of work or have had our income severely cut.
That was pretty inane. I saw that same article.
It was dumb. It was just plain dumb. And the other thing is, probably, the truth be known, probably a good number of people will take that check and go out and get themselves some bling. Or, we got a 50, but now we want a 65-inch TV, and we're going to get one because Walmart's having a sale.
Well, that will stimulate the economy.
That's the thing. Is it they call it a stimulus check. Is it to help you pay your bills, or is it for you to, like in the Obama administration, when they did stimulus checks, it was, by all means, take this and spend it. Just go out and spend it and help stimulate the economy. But I'm going to look at it more as help with the bills.
I saw
for a month.
I saw one of these quick financial advice places. They had a Facebook ad that popped up, and right after they started hitting with these checks, it said, if you've got more than $1,000 in your bank account, here's what you should do with it now. Call us.
Call the Reverend Spell and sign it over to him. Yikes. But have you gotten yours? I haven't. You haven't?
No.
No, not yet. I'm thinking it's going to fall in a certain order that, when certain people are taken care of, and by that I mean people that filed early, like you mentioned.
And people
earlier.
that have been on direct deposit for their past few tax returns.
Right. Those are the people that are going to get, and then on the backside we'll get the checks.
Well, and again, the nice thing is knowing that your bank can confirm your direct deposit. Again, some of these larger banks right now are so overwhelmed, they may be not able to confirm your direct deposit for a couple of days. There may be a little lag time.
Coming up on the program, many of our best small businesses are our restaurants. How are they dealing with it? I know they're doing call-in, takeout, but how are they? Our guest is Stephen Hightower, and he joins us next. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back. This is Exiles TV. Thanks for being with us.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Rouge Jr., and I am a general dentist at Rouge Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Clarence Bugg Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hey, we're back once again. Exiles TV on Pelican Broadcasting. Remember, if you're just coming in this part of the program, it's on from 10 until noon on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And each Tuesday and Thursday, Pelican TV Broadcasting replays it at 10 p.m. You can also catch these broadcasts on YouTube, and we also archive them on the Morning Exiles webpage on Facebook.
And for those of you in the Baton Rouge area who are used to watching KPBN TV, over the air or on your digital tuner. Of course, we're on cable, Cox Cable here, both the standard cable at 113 and the HD at 1013. But tell your friends from basically 30 miles west of Lafayette all the way to the Mississippi border, both north and east, we're on cable systems all over, largely Cox, but Allen Cable. I know the channel number in New Orleans is 116, but like North Shore, tell your friends. We'd like to have them join us as well. Speaking of joining us, in studio with us, Stephen Hightower. He is the president of City Hospitality Group. A number of restaurants that you like City Pork and like Rouge Creole and City Slice and a couple of more. But Stephen is also an officer with the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society and with the Louisiana Restaurant Association. And Stephen, it's difficult now for restaurants. I don't think we've ever seen a time quite this difficult. Give us kind of an overview of what you're seeing, not just in your establishments, but elsewhere.
Well, Bill, Kevin, I appreciate y'all having me here to speak on this.
It's good to see you again.
No, thank y'all. But yes, it is. We were the restaurant industry, obviously being hit first with a lot of the headlines that, for us having so many hourly employees that rely on tips, and at that time when it was, an immediate shutdown, it was clearly a freak out mode for all of us. Like, what are we going to do? But it's, since then, the community has rallied somewhat. But, I mean, to put in perspective, I mean, the sales are, not even a quarter of what all of us are used to doing. And it was tough before that, but it's obviously extremely tough now.
I mean, you've probably got, in your sit-down operations, you've probably got 400 seats. You can't make that up and take out.
That's right. And you can't. And even with the commitment from the community, I mean, there has been so many great stories to share that with, our regular customers and the relationships we've made within our organization over the past 6 to 7 years, and then hearing from other restaurateurs as well. It's, the commitment is there for people to try to pitch in, but there's just no way to get over the hump of what a normal volume or a normal operating society would be. So
I know a lot of restaurants are trying to dig into their reserves to keep people on the payroll as long as they possibly can. What I worry about is that there's always a bottom to that bucket. And no matter how much you want to, you're just going to have to, and I don't mean you, this is a collective you,
sure,
lay people off. And I wonder when they lift this stay-at-home order, if some of these people are going to find other jobs, you'd love to have them back, but you can't get them back. And you're going to start out trying to make up for lost time shorthanded.
I think that let me talk about a few things that have happened. So, we put together a little coalition, Emily Alternate, Bistro by Rones, and I.
Mm-hmm.
When all of this first happened, we got on the phone, started saying, how do we handle this? I mean, we were all in panic mode. We brought in some other great restaurateurs like Ruffin Rodrigue and Gino Marino of Gino's.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, what can we do together? So, yes, we were, to your question, everybody had to lay people off. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to the level, for some, it was all except management to try to make it and learn how to do it. And that was where we were as a group. But, we kind of put together and said, okay, if this is going to be the new normal, which is curbside and takeout, how do we come together to try to make this and basically inform the community that this is how you have to do it? And there was no, at that time, obviously as bleak as it was, there was no other way. So everybody came together, put ideas on a page, and a lot of what you're ordering from restaurants today is great ideas from great restaurateurs, whether that's the family packs or, a healthy meal option, or, like tonight at Rouge, we're doing a virtual wine dinner. So they come place a curbside order, they pick up the food, and then they're going to go on to Instagram Live. Maybe you guys could do one of these on your show, but it's fascinating.
That would be fun to do. That really would.
The winemaker in California is going to be on Instagram Live, and they're going to eat the courses. We partner with a restaurant in Lafayette to try to expand the reach, and they're going to go through each course and eat their to-go meal as they go through with some wine. So, it's all of those ideas at the same time. Yes, the goal for everything was how do we start generating enough income we can bring people back to work.
Stephen, if I may, I'm going to ask you some opinions. Do you think that restaurateurs should have been allowed the option of a diminished capacity dining room instead of shut your dining room down? And let me follow that up with a second part. Do you think it's time to maybe explore that now that we seem to have flattened the curve on infection?
I think that everybody at that point and moment in time did the best they could to try to navigate a solution to curb the virus spread. So can I be bitter to a certain extent that this is what happened to us? Of course, but we all have to adjust, just like you guys are adjusting in your business and your platforms. And, I think we did that. We have obviously learned that it doesn't allow us to employ the people that we used to, doesn't allow us to do the business that we used to. But is there a new normal in sight after this? So right now, completely shut down. What is it, to your question, what does it look like after? And that, through the National Restaurant Association lobbying hard in Congress, if the next step is, okay, the economy slowly opens, and these are the parishes that get to start, or the businesses that get to start with that reopening, then yes. Is it going to be my occupancy that's 100? You're only going to be allowed 50 people, and those 50 have to be spaced in a checkerboard dining room. Your servers are going to be wearing masks and gloves. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a table in front of that table to be able to drop the food, and that individual picks up their food. There's going to be a request by some to have to limit your menu, because you're going to have to space out kitchen workers 6 feet apart, do the social distancing in the kitchen, all disposable menus, and limited hours. If you have a private room, you're going to be limited a 10-person table. So these are going to be the next phases as we learn a timetable on being able to reopen, where we're going to have to adjust business models again. And that's when it gets scary, because I don't know if my landlord's going to say, oh, well, I'm going to give you 50% of the rent, because that's only the 50% of the occupancy. So candidly, yes, those are the fears.
Well, and I think a lot of us from the customer side will live with that for a while. I don't mind if they have to drop my food menu at a serving table and I pick it up. And I don't mind that I'm not sitting, shoulder to shoulder with other customers. And I don't mind if we wait at the bar, we have to be 6 feet apart.
Right.
But that's got a limited shelf life for everybody.
You hit the nail on the head, Bill. That's the problem. Is it going to be, cabin fever sets in, we have a great crowds to start, and then, the backside layer to that is, what does everybody's checkbook look like? I mean, I know you were talking about stimulus early, but there's three months of mortgages. If they weren't put on the end of your mortgage, you're going to have to pay out on those. And the extra money for folks, and
the utility mortgage people are talking about.
The disposable income is just not going to be there.
Yeah.
And so that really is the scariest thing. And how long will people really, the beauty of our restaurants is the atmosphere. It's the hospitality and service. Especially for the full service dining group. And, if you're not really getting your money's worth, I mean, that, how long does that last?
Nationally and locally, there are going to be some casualties.
Sure.
There's going to be casualties in the hospitality industry, from the table all the way to the 2-room suite at a 5-star hotel. There's going to be some casualties. The thing I worry about is that none of us, even those of you in the business, don't know what's going to happen next. So it's hard to prepare to be on the winning side as opposed to the losing side.
That's right. It's a constant merry-go-round of brainstorming to try to continue to get the best information as it comes available and start trying to formulate plans. I mean, I saw a picture in China where they have encased seats at a table where you have a plexiglass cover where one person's eating across from the other. I mean, I pray to God that all the cures or vaccines or something happens sooner, but there's nothing else that we can do. If you're sitting on the sidelines, you're not doing anything. It's a lot of great people talk about, but we've got to start figuring out solutions.
I wonder if, and I know everybody's got a lot on their plate at the governmental level right now. I get that. But the biggest part of our tourism by design in South Louisiana, from Lafayette all the way to the border, and then all the way to basically the Point Coupee Parish area, that big chunk of Louisiana, about a little over a third of our population, it's food tourism. Tourists come here to eat in our fine restaurants, our diverse restaurants, and I'm wondering if anybody at the Capitol is talking to anybody at the Fed right now saying there needs to be a special stimulus for the hospitality industry, and here's why. Look at the jobs. Look at the tax revenue in Louisiana.
Well, I mean, look, I can tell you, I'm on a call with the Louisiana Restaurant Association, Stan Harris and his team there. They are working tirelessly just like every other industry, but they are definitely doing their part to try to make a difference and get guidance that's going to help us all.
Well, this is a big picture. This is a big part of, as Bill said, that what we're known for is our food. It's what the main people come for Mardi Gras and they come for the food. Mm-hmm. That means it's part of culture, recreation, and tourism. So I would think that someone with the state should be your advocate here and start pushing for this. There's got to be some kind of benchmark. Whether it's rate of infection or death rate or something, there's got to be some kind of benchmark with this, at which point we say, we don't close the restaurants when flu is going around. Come on, we got to get this thing rolling here. Let these people go back to work.
I hope the LRA and the professional restaurateurs like you and Ruffin and Gino and Brian Dykes, if somebody asks, give me a number, I hope you've got one ready. So that they can get it rolling.
Well, I mean, what you're talking about, Kevin, I mean, that is just definitely the long-term consequences here of what we all are about in Louisiana.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back. Steve and Hightower, we're talking restaurants. How do they survive this? It's coming up next.
You know, it's so funny, Stephen.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Bug Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us, Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher. Our guest is Stephen Hightower. Stephen is the president of City Hospitality Group, which of course is City Pork and City Slice and Rouge Creole and a couple of others I'm sure I'm missing here.
That's all right. Stephen's also an officer with the Louisiana Restaurant Association and with the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society.
And we're talking about restaurant recovery after this is all over. And is there any business at all outside the takeout? Are you getting any catering orders or industrial orders or anything like that you can kind of at least put a few pennies in the register?
Yes, I mean that's what it was announced last week. I mean, Energy and Exxon or Energy led an initiative that partnered to actually now bringing in close to $400,000 into a fund that's executed through the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. So I actually manage the schedule. So we have 53 restaurants that are getting filtered jobs that are every day 75 and 100 to Baton Rouge General Mid-City and Baton Rouge General Bluebonnet. Our Lady of the Lake gets 225 meals a night, and Ochsner Medical is getting 100. So, and that fund is dedicated to the frontline healthcare workers for the COVID-19 units. So that has been unreal for all of us in the restaurant industry because, through this corporate group and initiative, they're able to pay restaurants, help us achieve some of the solutions that we were talking about earlier. Where we're
stay afloat.
Yes, we've brought back 10 people because of this. So there are I mean, we're serving 500 people every night. 4 different restaurants every night get to use this. So, and there's other groups. We're doing the first responders, Scrub Grub, which is another healthcare group. We helped out at the Governor's Office of Homeland Security. So, you know, that side of it, like I was speaking to in the beginning, is, you know, there are people that are really responding to us. We had the United Cajun Navy at Rouge did a crawfish boil for the general, but it was also to help create a fund to bring back employees or reward our hourly employees that don't have anything right now. So
I keep hitting you with these opinion questions, but my mind is working in this way. During the 2009 stimulus, they deemed that there were certain businesses which were too big to fail. And so the government got behind them and kept them afloat. Now, I'm not proposing anything from the federal government, but because so many of our restaurants are important to culture, recreation, and tourism, as Bill alluded to earlier, visitors to our cities, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and other cities like Lafayette, that have a good, vibrant, fine dining, you know, fine cuisine-driven business model, should not some of these be looked at as too important to our CRT to allow to fail? You know, should we not have, you know, the kinds of restaurants like yours, and I'm thinking of other well-known names in the business, should we not protect them and make sure that they don't go under?
I don't disagree with you at all, and Stephen, I think you see it from a different perspective. I did not realize that our service industry was 22% of all employment until somebody threw that statistic at me on the third day of this.
And the restaurant industry is the number 3 employer in the nation.
Yeah, and you also support agriculture, meat packing, wild caught fish.
That's right.
And so it's more than just restaurants.
Oh, and to the point about how many layers just in our industry alone. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head again, Bill. It's you know, our seafood provider is not bringing in fresh fish. Okay, the oyster restaurants that employ oyster farmers, and they actually do conservation work with how they build oyster beds. All of these people in this supply chain are out of jobs. You know, we're fortunate to have the best seafood in the nation, but when the restaurants aren't open, how many people is that affecting?
Well, and again, at a time when operating those boats, which ain't cheap, the fuel is the cheapest it's been in the last 20 years for these oystermen and the shrimpers and even the finfish fishermen. You know, they can't operate because they don't have a market to take it to.
And look, I think that the important thing too is that from the restaurant side of it, all of us are reaching out. We're really, our motivation right now is, yes, maybe pay a little bit of some bills, but it's really to try to get people back to work. Everybody's reduced prices. They've done everything they can from a sacrifice standpoint just to be able to create volume somehow, some way to get people employed. And, you know, you're watching restaurants like ours that, yes, maybe we're on the expensive end of things normally, but we're doing things for $10 and feeding 4 people.
Let's talk about the people that own the properties, because I'm aware that there are very few restaurants that are wholly owned and operated, and they own their location outright. So we're talking rent. We're talking commercial real estate and rent. Are you finding that a lot of and this is anecdotal amongst you and your colleagues in the business, but are you finding that most people are willing to take something as opposed to nothing? I mean, you know, if I had a commercial property, I'd want to give you a break on your rent just to keep you as a tenant until this thing is over with, because if you leave, it could be hard to replace you.
Well, I think at the beginning of this, it was a little bit more of a hardline approach from landlords. I mean, you know, I've talked to other commercial property owners, and he's, you know, that when it first hit, he was like, what am I going to do when I don't get $1 million of lease payments this month? At the same time, to your point, Kevin, it's that's where it is.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody.
Well, $500,000 is better than zero.
Well, that's right. So, and you know, at least I can speak for our case. I mean, our landlords have been very helpful to try to work through this, because, to your point, they don't really have a choice. I mean,
I do think that everybody's going to have to be helpful. I mean, restaurants carry a hell of a lot of general liability insurance.
Right.
Your insurance broker should be giving you great big breaks when you have that dining room closed. I don't know if they've gotten there yet with you, but they should.
The hardest thing, which I don't know if y'all have talked about before or not, but the business interruption insurance that everybody signed up for, you know, it's worth nothing basically. So I know there are they're trying to work that angle with the National Restaurant Association and our local to find a solution. Is there a way to tap into these insurance companies? But it is unprecedented what we're going through. There was times I was like, why don't they just shut? It's like we disappear for 2 months and cut out all bills and then start it over and then just pretend like we weren't here for 3 months.
Have you looked into the SBA loans?
We have. We've applied for our PPP loan, and that too is, obviously a great help, but there are so many nuances within that, and if you're not doing it right, you potentially could not know what you're signing up for, and there's different guidance every week on that.
Well, the thing is, I thought that your Better Together that you all put together for all these different restaurants, I thought it did something very, very important. It said, we're not going away, we're staying. And it had your name and your logo out there. Sometimes a little hard to figure out who's got what on their to-go menu, but
right.
If you really want to buy something from Rouge Creole, you're going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it also assures your loyal customers, and I know, like in the restaurant business, it's pretty much the same as most other service businesses. You make 80% of your gross from 20% of your loyal customers.
That's right.
And I think that they're going to hang with you. But I think what they'd like to know, to be bluntly honest, is how many other people are hanging with you. Has anybody from the federal government or the state government reached out to you all as an association saying, what do you need? How can we help?
Just through really the CARES Act has been the only thing that's just a direct correlation. But as far as individual response, that would probably be a question that, I know they're talking to the associations out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the next step. Obviously, our group has grown, believe it or not, because there are people that are trying to fight for everything, and they know what we have as a unified group together to pull together. But it's just, it's still so many unknowns as far as what help we will receive, Bill. And there's nothing to me that says there's anything planned as of now.
Do you even dare hope for a date that you're being told, yes, reopen your dining room? Even in a diminished capacity, do you even dare hope that the governor will give us a date?
My hope would be something could happen May 15th. My realistic thought is June 1st. And then, which I think they're going to give us a couple weeks to prepare what we have to do to be able to open June 1st is my thought, unless there's a spike or something that happens differently.
From what I'm hearing, and I'm hoping this is accurate, June 1st may apply to the New Orleans area. The rest of us, I think, will be ahead of that.
I hope so. I did hear New Orleans is going to be last, so not that's a surprise.
They're actually thinking of partitioning New Orleans right now.
You mean cordoning it off?
Well,
or just maintaining more control over.
I don't think they know yet whether they're going to have to actually physically cordon it off or kind of socially cordon it off.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor of New Orleans is acting like she wants to physically cordon it off.
Okay. All right. Don't get me started on the mayor of New Orleans, okay? We could do a whole show.
Stephen, but before we let you go, how's morale amongst restaurateurs around this state?
I think that it was it was terrible at first, then there was hope one day, then it's, then we get knocked down a little bit. But everybody's staying the course. We believe, and just like all of us, we have a job to do, and that's hope for a better future and a quicker solution to this virus, and hopefully a vaccine, and we get back to normal life.
Well, you've got some of the finest chefs I've ever tasted.
Mm-hmm.
Not the chefs themselves, of course, they're wares. And you've got a great staff, so we wish you the very best of luck.
Before we go to break, what's the takeout special tonight at Rouge Creole?
We got our virtual wine dinner. We still have 10 spots left. So
all right.
It's a 4-course meal for 2.
Go online at
rougecreole.com.
And it's spelled R-O-U-J. R-O-U-J.
Spell it wrong.
Yeah,
right.
That's it.
Stephen, we wish you a lot of luck.
Yes, thank y'all for having me here today.
For coming on board with us.
Sir, I really appreciate it.
A brief break, and then we'll wrap up the show on Exiles TV. Stick around.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Clarence Bug Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bug Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
Back to Exiles TV for this Thursday. Glad to have you along with us as we talk about some of the economic impacts of the COVID virus and the stay at home. And you heard Stephen Hightower, who owns City Hospitality Group and is a board member of the Louisiana Restaurant Association and also the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society, talking about, the service industry being hit very, very hard and not a lot of assistance coming their way. I have got to believe, and I'm not trying to drop his name or blackmail him into anything, but I do think Lieutenant Governor Nungesser has a keen awareness of how important our culture, recreation, and tourism business is, and it's intertwined with the hospitality business.
Absolutely.
I think he's got the best sense of that of anybody in this state. And so I would look for him to try to pull something together to encompass some support for all of the hospitality industry.
Now, what I hope is, and I have no idea what the atmosphere is on the fourth floor of the state capitol, but what I hope is that the Lieutenant Governor's office does have some clout and some swing with the Governor's office on the fourth floor and can help come up with something reasonable to help some of these restaurants open, even if they're only able to open, as we spoke earlier, at a 50% dining capacity. There's going to reach a point where you're going to have to start letting people back out. You're going to want to encourage people to get back to something like normal. And one of the things that's important to something like normal is we love to get out and dine.
Well, we like to socialize, so it's going to be tough keeping people that far apart. I mean, I've always enjoyed it when Karen and I go into a restaurant and we see somebody we know.
Right.
And, we drop by and say hello and kind of hover over their table or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. You're
not going to be able to do that, at least in the short term. But my God, something's got to give somewhere.
Bill and I, during the break, were saying, can you imagine a Baton Rouge that, now I'm going to drop some names. I'm not saying they're going to close. My prayer is that everything's going to be just fine. But try and imagine a Baton Rouge with no Jubins, no Mansers. Ruffino's is probably going to be okay because, as you mentioned, rent's not a part of the picture.
They own their building.
But I'm thinking about some of those restaurants that have been institutions in this city because they're known for their fine dining experience. Mm-hmm. And I worry, how many of those are going to become
Well, I mean, Struby's has been around.
A casualty of this thing.
Struby's has been around forever.
Struby's been around a good long time.
Little Village and Stabs, Wayne Stabler's places have become iconic.
All of his many fine restaurants.
Yeah. And I mean, and you look at some of the other ones that, are part of another group, but Parran's, I mean, people have been going there for seafood and a beer for, 30 years now?
Long time.
Long time.
So I do worry. I don't want to see any of the restaurants that we've known and loved for generations in this city become a casualty of the coronavirus.
And for our friends in Lafayette,
Which Lafayette has worked hard. They've built up a fine dining reputation in Lafayette. At one time, Lafayette wasn't considered a great place to go to get food other than Cajun food. But now there are some fine restaurants of all sorts in Lafayette.
Well, and again, the big six iconics in New Orleans, how are they faring? How's Galatoire's and Arnaud's and Commanders and Breakfast at Brennan's? And how are they all faring?
Now, we've heard in New Orleans that one of my favorite places, when I basically have the coin to roll it, is Two Jacques. And Two Jacques is moving from their familiar location.
But that all happened before the coronavirus. There was a fallout in the family.
Yep.
One part of the family owns the building, the other part owns the restaurant.
But is the relocation on track? Is that going to be? Are they going to be opening a new location on the back side of this thing?
They ain't reopening anything right now because you can't.
Exactly. So at what point do we say 50% capacity, open your dining room? To maintain 50% capacity so you can maintain social distancing while people are dining. As Stephen said, great ideas. Servers wearing PPE, having a table next to the table where they can bring you your entrees and you're welcome to reach and get your own entree. I don't care. I'd be more than willing to do that, to be able to go and sit down and enjoy a dinner again.
And with all deference to the people who make these plans, if it's a matter of a week between when you can just reopen or opening with everything spaced out, half capacity, everybody dressed like they're walking on Mars, then I'm saying we'll wait that 1 week. Because you know what? If they let them reopen and they space them all out, and that week later everything would be all clear, they'd keep them spaced out for at least 2 or 3 more.
Hey, our time is almost up. I want to plug our podcast tomorrow on Facebook Live on the Morning Exiles page. We will be doing our podcast live from EMS. And we're going to be talking to them about the fine work that they're doing.
Well, and they just got a brand new set of PPE that the paramedics will take possession of. But this is actual filter respirators that they can use in all kinds of emergencies. So we'll talk about that as well as the other things they've been doing and see how they are faring during all this. I understand their call level is going back up again.
Yep.
So
look for us on the Facebook, on the Morning Exiles Facebook page, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll be looking for you.
And
like and share.
Yes, like and share. We will be back here next week, as will Clarence Buggs. I don't have to tell you this, but I'm going to. We care about you. Please stay safe. Until we meet again, have a good weekend. Back on the other side.